The field doesn't process verbal declarations. The system does not read lip-sync telemetry. The only data point that registers on the grid is the literal kinetic compression of the work. Analyze the execution contrast. But what that think ye? A certain man had two distinct sons operating within his immediate household zone. And he came to the first and said, "Son, go work today in my vineyard," issuing a direct command tone. He answered and said, "I will not." An immediate verbal rejection, a high resistance signal sent up the line. The terminal projecting an initial state of non-compliance, refusing to execute the layout of the design. But afterward he repented and went, undergoing an internal phase correction, dropping his egoic stance, manually overriding his previous declaration to enter the coordinates and execute the practical dance. And he came to the second and said likewise, delivering the exact same instruction to the remaining node. And he answered and said, "I go, sir," and whatnot, projecting a flawless verbal compliance down the road. Look at the initial telemetry split. The first node outputs a negative signal but delivers a positive work yield, while the second node outputs a beautiful compliant signature but remains completely absent from the field. Rather twain did the will of his father, they say unto him, the first identifying the real metric of the state. Jesus saith unto them, "Verily I say unto you, that the publicans and the harlots go into the kingdom of God before your gate. For John came unto you in the way of righteousness, and ye believed him not. But the publicans and the harlots believed his lying. And ye, when ye had seen it, repented not afterward, that ye might believe him and realign your structural design." Look at the brutal diagnostics of the statement. The religious elite are running a high compliance verbal routine, polishing their public reputation data while their hardware remains completely disconnected from the living machine. They have mastered the linguistic formatting of the teaching, reciting the codes and simulating the holy posture well. But when the system measures the actual kinetic output, their field is completely empty of the cellular cell. The outcasts and the broken start with the corrupted data file, admitting the friction and standing in the open light. But the moment they receive the code, they execute the change, instantly elevating their structural height. The field is a strict verification matrix. It cannot be manipulated by public relations or institutional pride. It tracks the literal movement of your consciousness, calculating the exact degree of the work hosted deep inside. Stop telling the universe what you intended, while your daily cycles are spent lounging in the shadows bed. A beautiful profession of compliance gains absolutely nothing if the software remains unexecuted and dead. The second son is the archetype of the matrix, mimic the individual who loved the identity of the spiritual line, using the vocabulary of the kingdom to camouflage a total lack of movement within the master design. But the first son proves that your historical resistance doesn't dictate your ultimate capacity to host the light. The moment you choose to collapse the talk and manually pick up the tools, you stabilize the room's height. Liquidate the vanity of your verbal promises and start to execute the raw, unshielded labor inside your immediate sphere, becoming a node that speaks nothing but outputs, a flawless high voltage harvest that makes the entire lattice clear.
The talk is deleted, the work is verified. Drop the verbal currency, execute the command line.
The harvest is checked.